Thank you, Betsy. Let me start by expressing my admiration for all of you for being here, because, I mean, you could be doing Pilates, you could be working on your culinary skills, you could be enjoying all the things there are to enjoy, and as part of your vacation, you're here to listen to people like me and David and Al and Lisa tell you all sorts of distressing things. But that is admirable, because the reason for that is you're worried about the future for your kids and your grandkids, not just your own selves. And there's plenty of reason to worry. You know, if you, as a metaphor, take this ship. You know, it's wonderful, it's comfortable, we're having a great time. I think what David was saying earlier today and what Al was saying earlier today is that there's rust eating its way through the hull, and that the engine is beginning to sputter, and the captain's too drunk to worry about the reefs up ahead. And we can enjoy it, but we're going to be in trouble if we don't do something about these problems pretty soon. And I'm here to tell you about another set of problems, and that is that there are pirates infesting these waters. And I'm not talking about Errol Flynn-style pirates, swashbucklers. I'm talking about the kind of pirates that you find off the coast of Somalia right now. I'm talking about some really terrible people who mean us real harm and damage. Now let me just say a little by way of background. The Foundation for the Defense of Democracies was created in after 9/11, and my first conversations about this idea were when I was summoned by Jack Kemp and Jeane Kirkpatrick in September of 2001. That won't surprise you. What will surprise you is that my first conversations with them were not after the 9/11-01 attacks, but before the attacks. Before the attacks, Jack and Jeane, who I knew from my days as a reporter, I was a New York Times reporter for many years, a foreign correspondent, a Washington correspondent, and probably the only New York Times reporter they have ever met who agreed with them on anything. They called to talk to me, and they were concerned about terrorism and the ideologies and movements and regimes driving terrorism before 9/11. Now, why were they concerned about it? Well, there were two reasons they expressed to me then. One is, if you remember back then, Israel was suffering a wave of terrorist attacks, suicide bombings starting about 2000, 2001, and into 2002. And they found that a lot of people, not least on the left, were apologizing and condoning that. They were saying, well, these folks shouldn't do that, but they have legitimate grievances. And Jack and Jeane thought, you know, whatever grievances you may have, civilized people do not express them by murdering other people's children. There are other ways to do it. There are other forms that are available. And if the idea that people have grievances is going to justify terrorism against Israelis, it's going to justify terrorism against us, because a lot of people in the world have grievances against us here in America. But more than that, they were connecting dots that others weren't. Look, a lot of people think, even today, that the 1990s was this wonderful period of peace and prosperity. We were, you all remember, the spending the peace dividend, right? Because we have no enemies in the world. Cold War was over. Except the first attack on the World Trade Center was 1993. Bill Clinton never thought to go to the site and discuss it. It wasn't that important. And then in 1996, our troops were attacked at Khobar Towers. We know now they were attacked by Al-Qaeda and Iranian agents working cooperatively. That's the burning theory. Bill Clinton decided, against the advice of the FBI, not to pursue an investigation into Khobar Towers and what happened there. And Louis Freeh was very upset about that, as he writes in his autobiography. In 1998, 2 of our embassies were bombed in Africa by Al-Qaeda. And in 2000, the USS Cole was attacked.